Family, the draft, it is literally one day away, and here is what one of the biggest franchises in sports should do. The New York Giants, they have to take a quarterback. Daniel Jones, he had a good year, but his time is gone. So the question is, Giants fans, who should you take? I will make my plea for Michael Penix from Washington. Now, think about this for a moment. Michael Penix is the most accurate quarterback in the draft, especially from the pocket. But more importantly, the dude ran a 4.46 40. He doesn't necessarily play with that speed, but knowing he has that speed matters. Why? Because head coach Brian Daboll, he loves a quarterback that can run. Think about what he did with Josh Allen. Career-high rushing yards, 763 in 2021 when Allen was his quarterback. Think about what he did with Daniel Jones. Career-high rushing yards in 2022, 708 with DJ as his quarterback. Josh Allen nor Daniel Jones have 4.46 speed, which Penix has. But what I love most, and I got to take y'all back for this one, Brian Daboll was Tua Tagovailoa's quarterback coach and offensive coordinator in Alabama. And what did Daboll say about Tua? See, Tua can hit the keyhole. What he means by that is most quarterbacks from a distance, they can hit a door. Other quarterbacks, they can hit the doorknob. But the really special, accurate throwers like Tua, like Michael Penix Jr., they can hit a keyhole from a distance. So my ideology, if you are the Giants, a Giants fan, pray that your team takes Michael Penix Jr. as the future quarterback in the Big Apple. Heading to the desk, James Jones. I know you know a lot about quarterback play. You play with Brett Favre. Play with Aaron Rodgers. Giants got Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
He's not played great thus far.
Oh, no.
So do you think that the Giants should use their first-round pick on a quarterback?
Yesterday.
Yeah.
This has to happen. It's one or two things going to happen here, right? Because I just heard my dog Shady say he loved him some Daboll. If Daboll sticks with Daniel Jones, he's going to be an offensive coordinator somewhere again. He's going to end up being fired because you don't have good quarterback play. That's just what that showed. Even when they made the playoffs with what, 9, 10 wins or something like that? 9 wins? You know what I mean? So that was your best season under Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones has shown us that he is not the answer to get you to the playoffs consistently, and dang sure get you to the Super Bowl because he's not even getting you into the show consistently. You need to draft a quarterback, put your offense around him, put some weapons around him, and let the young fella develop and go out there and try to win you some ball games. Daniel Jones is not the answer for any organization to succeed, especially where the Giants are at right now on that offensive side of the ball. Losing Saquon Barkley, not a lot of big-time receivers out there. Get you a young quarterback to come in there and develop with some of these young fellas that you're going to have on that offensive side of the ball.
Yeah, don't overthink it. You got everything that you could get out of Daniel Jones. Be grateful. Sometimes you just got to be grateful. Thank you for this gift. I'm not going to overuse it, because if I do, it's going to fall apart, and that's going to be my fault. They're in a reset. This is the perfect time to take a quarterback.
Yeah.
By the way, didn't you bring Daboll there to develop quarterbacks? Isn't that what he does?
That is what he does.
Why don't we give him a quarterback to develop? One that we didn't already think was bad, who he got the most that he could possibly get out of. I mean, you've got your return for having Daboll with Daniel Jones. I don't see a scenario where they don't take a quarterback. It would be silly for them not to. And that's no disrespect to Daniel Jones. He's going to have a nice career as a backup quarterback somewhere. And what? Oh, I mean, listen, good on Daniel Jones. What are you talking about?
It's accurate. It's just
Daniel Jones got a bag. Like, he's set. He's good. Like, for sure.
No, I think you're saying it's true. It's just I like when people say no disrespect.
I don't think that he thinks
First of all, a backup quarterback is a great job.
Not if you're a number 6 overall pick. You know what I'm saying?
He didn't pick himself at number 6, okay? They did that too. And then, believe me, it was questioned when they made that choice. So, listen, they got everything they could get out of him. It doesn't matter. Forget Daniel Jones. Let's talk about the draft. They need a quarterback. They should take a quarterback. Daboll should get the quarterback that he wants and develop him.
Another question.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of people that want quarterbacks, and they're picking 6. So maybe you need to make some moves. Maybe you see what happens at 6. But the point is, he is there to develop quarterbacks. That is what Daboll does. Get him a quarterback to develop. You are in a reset as an organization. It's not like people have expectations of them this year. This is a perfect scenario to take a rookie quarterback.
I don't think he would feel like disrespected about that, what she said.
Who, Daniel Jones?
Yeah, like...
You're going to have a great career as a backup?
I mean...
That's a great life.
Is he having a great career as a starter? You know what I'm saying?
But no starter wants to be told.
This is the problem with us people, right? Yeah, us people.
I mean, not me people.
Yeah. Sometimes, not us, but you know people. Sometimes you gotta like know who you are. Know who you are. And sometimes it's a good thing.
Wow.
You know what I mean? You take a look. Can I start preaching? You but you know you're going to win a Victor League.
That's a bar. That's a bar.
You might take a loss. And you know it's another loss. You're going to keep losing. Know who you are. So I done said keep like this. Daniel Jones, man. I think right now, like, we talk about team all the time, right? One thing is always trying to help your teammates out, right? I want to help my team. I don't want to let my teammates down. When you so bad, be a real teammate and say, listen, coach, I need to take a step back. Right? Because Daboll is a phenomenal coach. And you could say all these different things, right, to your team, but you keep sending out there Daniel Jones as a starter. What sign are you really sending us, though?
Correct.
Coach, we can't win with him. And guess what? You know it. You let our best player go to our biggest competitor, the Eagles, which we are happy with getting Saquon Barkley, but as a teammate, you're not happy to see that. You know what? I went to the fight last weekend. Everybody knows that. And I seen Dexter Lawrence. It's big brother. Now, it's weird that I see him in the Louis Vuitton area. I'm like, bro, they got your size? Anyway.
They gonna make it sign.
As we talking about sports, I'm like, yo, man, Daboll, how you like Daboll? I love Daboll. I said, I had him in Buffalo. We talking this and the third. And I say, you know, how you feeling next season? You know, hopefully get some good players in the draft. And I said to myself, like, wow, I never thought about the draft. I'm saying how you feel about next season as far as like how the team is, this and the third. You talking about the draft. That lets me know.
You know you got to.
You care who you getting, though. You know you need a quarterback. So when you ask these questions about this guy out here, number 8, Daniel Jones, the New York Giants is a big franchise, bro. They're a big franchise. Football's better when the Cowboys are good, Eagles, and the Giants. If you continue to have this quarterback at the lead of your team, that can't win, bro.
Let's talk about the bigger problem, though, Ben. Because, Joy, you said Daboll got the quarterback he wants. But the dilemma, if you're the Giants, is you have so many vacancies that you need to fill offensively. I don't believe the Giants have the luxury of trading up. They're sitting at 6 right now, but we know that Caleb Williams will likely go number 1. Jaden Daniels or Drake Maye, they will go 2 and 3, respectively. We believe that the Vikings and or the Raiders will trade up to that 4th and that 5th pick because the Cardinals can afford to move back. The Chargers can afford to move back. So another quarterback will go off the board. I think it could potentially be J.J. McCarthy, though I don't co-sign that decision, which means by the time the Giants pick at 6, they're likely taking the 5th best quarterback. I don't even think it's wise, knowing all the needs you have, I'm not taking the 6th best quarterback over the best wide receiver or the 2nd best wide receiver. I believe, and we'll talk about it later, James, talking directly to you, Marvin Harrison and Malik Neighbors are 2 surefire locks as to how they will contribute. If I'm the Giants with as many vacancies as I have, I think I'd rather trade back, acquire more picks, see if I can get a receiver and the 5th or 6th best quarterback or the 6th best quarterback, as opposed to using that number 6 pick. You draft a quarterback, who we throwing to?
You want to know what's crazy? Is we all sat up here at this desk, and you didn't listen to not one of us. We said go get a quarterback. Listen to what we telling you. Go get a quarterback. That is what the Giants need. You got, Barnes from Carolina. To go with Thibodeau.
Defense is fine.
Defense is set. Go get you a quarterback knowing that you're going to have a solid defense. You can find some James Joneses and some Shadys in the 2nd and the 3rd rounds. That's what you were 2nd round, right?
You can't just find me anywhere.
You want 2nd round?
You can't find this Mr. Deckard anywhere. Hold up, time out. Is this live? Yo, do that again.
Where were you drafted,
do that again.
That's fine, no shit.
Go ahead, do it again.
First off, okay, well, let me start it over.
Start all the way over.
It don't matter where you drafted. You can be in the 2nd round and be an all-pro player. Like Shady. You can be a 3rd round player, Hall of Famer, lead the league in touchdowns. Those dudes are there, right? Go get you a quarterback right now knowing you have a solid defense. And just because you're going the 5th quarterback taken, don't mean you the 5th best.
True.
Yes.
You just said Patty was 11. Lamar was 20, whatever. Josh was 10, whatever. Like, it's quarterbacks that went in front of them dudes, and I guarantee that they probably not better than them dudes right now. So that don't necessarily mean, that just means you came to us and we got a really good player.
What if they just moved a couple spaces up, though?
Like to 4 or 5?
Yeah.
They're already 6, yeah.
But think about how that would suck, Joy. Because to move up to 4 or 5, you're probably going to have to give up your 1st and your 2nd. Or your first and your third. Probably your first and your second. Because you know the Vikings coming.
It has to be
that's what I'm saying. But like somebody is going to, we are anticipating that this is not going to stay how it looks right now.
Yeah, of course not.
Likely it's not going to. One of those two teams is going to move out of that spot and move back. Somebody's going to go up and get a quarterback.
Happens every year?
Yes. So why not?
Because the Vikings likely will give up more than the Giants will give up. You feel me? So if you're the Giants, to move from 6 to 4, which I do think there's some wisdom in that, because that's the difference between the fourth best quarterback and the fifth best quarterback. To move from 6 to 4, you're going to have to give up even more. Your roster, James, is so bad.
Yeah.
Joy, it's so bad that I'm like, to James's point, Joy, to your point, we talk about Pat. We talk about these different characters, but their teams were good.
Yeah, but the Giants, and I hear you, and I wouldn't like to give up anything. I'd like to just stay at 6 and draft a quarterback. And they will be able to do that.
Yeah.
And to James's point, that doesn't mean that they got the fifth worst quarterback. Like that's not how it actually ends up playing out really any of the time. There's busts in every single draft. We're going to see that starting this weekend. I don't have a problem with it. All I know is the first pick is a quarterback. That's what I know. Whether you pick it at 6, whether you move it up.
And not from Duke.
Not from Duke.
God dang it.
But now what about North Carolina?
And not from Duke.
What about North Carolina?
Going to freaking NBA something.
And to be honest with you, let's take the number 1 off because we know Caleb gone.
Yep.
I truly feel like watching tape on these boys, Drake Maye, Jaden Daniels, Penix. I'm not even putting J.J. McCarthy in there.
No, I won't. I refuse.
They are in the same boat. So whoever goes first after all that, I feel like we don't really know what they're getting. And to be honest with you, just like you said, I think Penix has the most upside out of all of them because he's the best pocket passer out of all of them.
But he also, to me, love Penix. He has the most downside. He's the oldest, and he's the most injury prone. Penix is, he got a shoulder, he got an ACL. So at least with the likes of a Dre, at least you don't have as many injuries. As the player on here who was the most injury prone, y'all weren't injury prone. Like that's the risk you run. So
but let him get hurt in the league. Before
let me ask you this though, Jay, real quick. Would you rather would you rather a surefire wide receiver who you know is going to give you 1,000 consistently?
Who's throwing to him? How's he getting 1,000?
So I'm thinking about it like this: like Larry Fitzgerald never had great quarterback play. Ever had great quarterback play. But you knew you had every year Fitz was going to be Fitz.
Yeah, let's not compare
Fitz
nobody.
Best years when he had
let's not compare nobody.
I'm not comparing them, James. What I am saying is I'm giving you an example, an analogy. Okay? What I'm saying is, would you rather have a consistent wide receiver? Like, would you rather have a first-round grade wide receiver, or would you rather have a second-round grade quarterback at the 6th overall pick?
Second-round quarterback at the
But why are you saying
pick?
second-round grade? They picking 6. They're going to have a first-round grade quarterback that they're getting.
Because the difference is, if you're picking 6, but 4 quarterbacks go ahead of you, you're getting the.
But it's a matter of need, though. Like I understand what you're saying.
5 of them went in front of the bar.
But they need that too.
But what position is you need more?
Look, I just
don't think about it. Don't. What did I say? What did I say to start this block? Don't overthink it. I get it. There are some really fantastic prospects in this year's draft, some surefire ones, if you want to say that. I don't like saying that about the drafts because we don't know. They're going to play a different sport against all professional players. I hear you, though. You would want a closer to a sure thing at that pick. Unfortunately, you don't have a quarterback. So if it's like any other position, I'm with you. Take the best player on the board. But if you need a quarterback and you're picking at 6, even if there are 4 quarterbacks going ahead of you, you've got to take a quarterback.
Are starting to be hyperbolic here for a moment? I don't know how y'all talk me further this way, but are starting to be hyperbolic in the sense of like, Daniel Jones isn't great, obviously, but he's not incompetent. He's not Zach Wilson at the quarterback position, as incompetent as it pertains to what we see competency on the football field. So it's like, we sit here talking like the Giants got me at quarterback. That's just not the case. They do have a quarterback who threw for 15 touchdowns, rushed for 7, and had 5 interceptions. But y'all are saying it so much so like they're not rolling Zach Wilson out there, y'all. They got Drew Lock as a backup.
This is all I'm saying, Acho. There's nobody in the National Football League that wants to run the type of offense you have to run with these type quarterbacks. You have to play the game a certain type way with Daniel Jones. He is not a thrower of the football. If you bring in another receiver to play with Daniel Jones, you are not going to get the best out of him.
True.
The DeAndre Hopkins and the Larry Fitzgerald and the Calvin Johnson, even though he balled with Matthew Stafford, a great thrower to football, there's not a lot of those. Larry played with 30 different quarterbacks, made his quarterback. There's not a lot of those dudes.
I guess
you need a guy that could spin.
What gets you closer to winning?
A great quarterback.
Or,
a great quarterback.
Okay, so I'm willing to risk that I'm getting a great quarterback.
That boy said 15 touchdowns.
Yeah, go ahead, like 2 touchdowns in 6 games. He's talking about, oh, he's not that bad.
But I'm saying, like,
2 touchdowns in 6 games.
we're talking about him like he's Zach Wilson.
No, he's not.
He's a little bit better.
Like, would you rather?
He's not Zach,
to me, I love, and maybe I just love Malik Neighbors and Harrison too much. But like, I'd rather roll out there.
But that is a dependent
They're gonna be
position.
so mad. They're gonna be pissed off at the draft.
That's a dependent position. I hear you on a player like Larry Fitzgerald, but the reason we don't like putting Larry Fitzgerald in with everybody else is because Larry's kind of one of one. All right, it's very hard to ball year in and year out when you have a different quarterback every single year, and certainly a rookie wide receiver you cannot depend on to get you closer to winning than you would a quarterback that you could potentially develop. So I trust Brian Daboll's ability to develop a quarterback, even if it isn't necessarily the top prospect. I also agree with James. After Caleb Williams, we have questions about all these guys. Look, we had questions about C.J. Stroud.
Correct.
He stepped up, and now he has an incredible career ahead of him.
Now, real quick, though, this is like, this is pissing me off. I'm trying to be as patient as possible. Imagine at, what are they, 19 now? 18, 20? What are they, like 21? The college guys.
Yeah.
These QBs now, they're 22,
I'm talking about the wide receivers you talked about.
Oh, yeah,
right?
yeah, 21.
And they get their name called. New York Giants select whoever you want to pick at this time, right?
Malik Neighbors.
You're not mad they're going to be on that stage. You know, everybody's going to be happy. Yo, what's up, Roger? Hug him. They're going to be so mad. They know who the quarterback is.
Then let me give you all the opposite, and I know we got to go to break.
No, Daniel Jones.
Think about the Carolina Panthers last year. I think they had a brilliant offensive-minded head coach. I like Frank Wright a lot. He coordinated the Eagles to their Super Bowl. First one in ever, I believe, Shady.
You know that.
You have Bryce Young, very talented. But all you had was Miles Sanders, Adam Thielen, Laviska Shenault, if I'm not mistaken. You had question marks. What did Bryce Young do? He struggled immensely. Not because he's not talented, but because there wasn't talent around him.
The O-line.
So, yes, the O-line wasn't great at all, but he struggled immensely.
Yeah.
Bryce struggled immensely. I'm sitting here thinking, like, if you get the receiver, who you're going to need too, because even once you get the quarterback, eventually we're going to say, but he ain't got nobody to throw to. So if you get the receiver, why not get the crazy special receiver? And like DJ with a healthy Daniel Jones won a playoff game.
Why cheat the system? We talked about this earlier with the Cowboys, right? They keep trying to cheat the system. They don't do that. They take the best player. They take the star, right? And what do they do every single year? They have great regular seasons, and then they come up short.
How about let's flip it.
Flip it.
How about the worst team in the division with the number 2 overall pick get a quarterback and he make every single person around him better? We talk about Collins, we talk about rookie Tank Dell. He made every single person around him better and took his team to the playoffs, however we want to slice and dice it. A receiver's not going to do that. If the Texans would have took a big-time receiver at 2, they would probably still be in last.
Very true. Very true. Honestly, the draft is incredibly fascinating, as that conversation was as well.
We need a Shady Cam.
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak, and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.